Friends, the time has come to review the products from Simagic. In this case, I have the Simagic GT-NEO steering wheel. You have a Moza base. And I will say, yes, this steering wheel connects to a PC and works with Moza bases, as both Moza and Simagic have the same quick release mechanism. Here you go, the quick release from Simagic, and as you can see, it fits perfectly with the Moza base. However, if you want to play on Moza with this steering wheel, you will need to pay a little extra to attach a magnetic piece like this at the back. That is, you change the back plate, connect the new one, and plug this steering wheel directly into the PC using this kind of cable. To be honest, I don't like these extra wires because they always cause some kind of problems, as is the case with my Cube Control steering wheel. Firstly, I had 2 or 3 of these cables die on me. I bought new ones, repaired them, and they kept disconnecting or having other issues. Everything here is designed a bit smarter. The magnetic mount, you see. It magnetically attaches itself, and there are no issues with that. Nothing came loose or disconnected during the race. I have been using this steering wheel for a considerable amount of time, and I can say that it is really cool. And if I take all the steering wheels I've raced with, I can confidently say that the Simagic GT-NEO is the best steering wheel in terms of price-quality ratio in 2024. I have driven the coolest Moza steering wheels. I am not including the Moza GS Vision, which I recently reviewed. This is a different device. However, I have tried the coolest steering wheels from Simagic, which feature separate handles. They are not fixed at the bottom and with or without a screen. And I want to tell you that for both Moza and Simagic, I would choose this steering wheel. And it's even cheaper, you know. It costs around 30,000 rubles. It is not much more expensive than the Moza KS. The budget steering wheel for Moza that I also reviewed was very appealing in terms of price-quality ratio, but that steering wheel felt cheap. This one does not feel or seem cheap at all. I repeat, it is not much more expensive than the budget steering wheel from Moza, the Moza KS, and it is really great for its price. Let me go through it step by step. Honestly, I have very little to criticize about this steering wheel. Well, what could I possibly nitpick about here? Probably the plastic knobs, as I always say. I don't like them. They look cheap, but this steering wheel is from the budget segment. The only thing that looks cheap here is these plastic knobs. However, due to the cool backlighting around them, these knobs somehow appear a bit better. But let's go through everything in order. And for the first time, we already talked about it. It's the design, the appearance. The steering wheel looks very cool, expensive, and luxurious from the front, back, top, and bottom. It feels that way too. So yes, it's certainly not some kind of carbon, it's composite plastic, but it feels very nice to the touch. It's quite dense, and it looks great as well. Next, we move on to the grips. The rubber is of high quality and it feels nice. It's pleasant to hold in your hands. The grip is also very good, meaning you can see our chubby hands. There are grooves here for the fingers. And right away, regarding the knobs, I can say that there are a lot of videos and photos online showing how these knobs wear down and start to crumble. I want to tell you, if you purchase Simagic or Moza products and start having any issues, like if you bought the Simagic GT-NEO and the knobs started crumbling, contact support immediately. They must replace it under warranty. Their service is excellent and the warranty is effective for this clear defect. I have been using this steering wheel for about 2 or 3 months now, and I haven't had any problems with these knobs. About just a month ago, when I actually moved here, I took the Simagic steering wheel once again and set up the Moza. Before that, I was using the Fanatec and it felt like some kind of dust started to settle on the handles. I thought, well, it seems this steering wheel is starting to crumble. No, it was just lying around somewhere. The handles were dirty, so I wiped them with a damp cloth, and now, after some time, all these handles are smooth and nothing is crumbling. I drive without gloves, whether with gloves or without. And Photon has also been testing this wheel for a long time. He has used it with 3 different pairs of gloves and has had no problems with it. So if your handles have crumbled, that's a defect and you should return it. Let's move on. We'll talk about the buttons separately now. We have the back part of the wheel. Everything is absolutely done neatly here. Everything is clear. We have 2 paddles here. Well, accordingly, there are just 2 paddle shifters at the bottom. I want to say right away that I had some issues. When I switched to this Simagic steering wheel, there were times when I would use my big thumbs to shift without reaching properly. Sometimes, you shift and it just whoops, the paddle kind of slips like that. But I'm just a really lethargic bum. I can't even unscrew 2 screws here to move these paddles a little bit. So, there are adjustments for these paddles here. Sorry. The steering wheel looks a bit unpresentable to me. However, the wheel looks very great and pleasant from both the front and the back. This backlighting is really cool, and I absolutely want to emphasize once again that there is indeed also backlighting on these knobs. Next, regarding the buttons, yes, indeed, there are various different ones here as well, and I will show you how to set everything up in the software. You will also see this scale for the RPMs. Now, as you can clearly see, let's move on to the different buttons, knobs, and such as, and we will explore their functionalities. First of all, as you can clearly observe, I want to point out that many Simagic steering wheels have these knobs, which are either made of aluminum or metal, but definitely not plastic. In short, this is definitely a big plus. It looks incredibly cool and visually striking. In my opinion, I can criticize the Moza wheels because they have a lot of plastic parts, which I personally find to be a significant drawback and somewhat disappointing. Here you can see 2 metal knobs painted in a bright red color, which really stands out and adds a premium feel to the product. However, in contrast, the 4 knobs in the center are still plastic, and unfortunately, I don't like that when compared to the metal ones. Honestly, in terms of quality, the plastic even sounds cheap. In conclusion, this is my genuine and honest opinion, and I hope it provides valuable insight. Well, again, this is not a flagship model for an exorbitant amount of money. The price for this steering wheel is quite reasonable, so there can definitely be some cheaper parts here. Definitely. With all that said, I want to point out that we do not have a side stick here. Instead, there are 2 4-position switches that can also rotate like this. In other words, the knobs can turn left and right. And certainly indeed, these 2 little knobs look better than those on the Moza steering wheels. That is, on the Moza, these switches are indeed quite sketchy and cheap. Here they are made a bit better, of course. The buttons are ordinary, cool, with backlighting. All the backlighting is adjustable and customizable. As for the stickers, I recently reviewed the Moza GS Vision, a very cool and interesting steering wheel, a futuristic wheel. Take a look. You probably don't need one like this, but anyway, definitely check out the review if you haven't seen it. And there were these stickers that I really absolutely enjoyed because they were stickers on Tremo tape. And they hold very well indeed, as I thought. So afterwards, when I found my packaging from the Simagic GT-NEO steering wheel, I saw that there were exactly the same stickers here too. So I immediately stuck all of this onto my laptop, phone, and tablet. And I've been using these stickers for about 2 or 3 weeks now, and they have been working perfectly. Nothing has peeled off or even shifted without any issues whatsoever. I just had experience with these stickers on the steering wheels, yes, on the buttons. And these little stickers constantly start to shift to the side, and then they completely come off. This Remus here is very high quality. Some tape. And as you can see, everything is in place, nothing has moved or come unstuck, so that's undoubtedly a plus regarding the layout. I've told you all about the buttons and knobs, what materials they are made of and their quality. Now let me tell you about the adjustments and how these buttons are arranged. And they are positioned very conveniently. The placement of these buttons is actually standard. This layout is found on almost all steering wheels, and the knobs are also located in these spots. Well, basically everything is as usual, with the knobs in the center. That's how it is with Moza wheels, with Simagic wheels, and many other wheels have this button layout. It's convenient, meaning you can reach everything from here, but in the center, you have to move your hand during driving. But I want to point out how many adjustments there are here. Let's count the knobs together, aside from the buttons. knob 1, knob 2, knob 3, knob 4, because they turn like this, left and right, knob 5, knob 6, knob 7, knob 8, 8 damn knobs. You can assign anything you want here. 2 PBS, ABS, engine graph, vibration level, more precise feedback in Assetto Corsa, brake balance, MFD changes, anything really, such as... That is to say, there are a ton of different adjustments here, and I find some of the knobs sufficient. In general, there are already some nonsense functions assigned that I never use, so there are plenty of buttons here. As for the weight of this steering wheel, it is not very heavy, but it can't be called super light either. Therefore, I would recommend it for bases from, well, at least Moza R9 or better Moza R12, basically from 10 Newton meters. If you have a powerful base, I would recommend using this steering wheel. You don't need it for something like Moza R5 with 5 Newton meters. Well, visually, I think I've told you everything about the buttons. Now it's time to install this steering wheel. By the way, I want to mention that this cord shouldn't get in your way, so it doesn't rub against your legs. You do this thing where you loop it over the top and twist it like this. Nothing bad will happen because manufacturers usually recommend doing it this way. And that's it. You can drive... Wait. Well, okay. It seems like that's how it was for me. I was a bit fidgety just now, and you're driving basically, nothing is flapping around down there. Although, of course, this placement isn't the best for me. We need to move all of this somewhere else. Now let's change the angle a little bit, and I'll go into the software to demonstrate how to configure all these various buttons and knobs, and how well it all works effectively and efficiently. So, let's talk about the backlighting and the different features and functionalities. I want to say right away, any of these buttons and knobs, all the ones that light up, you can set to various values. For example, when I am in the pit stop and the limiter is on, the 4 lower buttons light up and just blink. Despite all this, indeed, the knobs and the top 6 buttons respond to the flag. That is, if there is a yellow flag, they start to flash bright yellow and you understand that there is danger ahead. If the car is slow, they blink white. If you need to let someone pass and you have a blue flag, then they blink blue accordingly. If the race has just started before the start, then the entire wheel blinks green. This is really cool and very convenient. Each button can be customized by color. You see, I have 2 red buttons here. One is for the battery ignition, and the other is for the starter. These buttons are very important. They shouldn't be touched, it's better not to touch them unnecessarily at all, which is why they are lit up in red. You can also simply click on any key and easily choose the color that suits you. In addition, you can choose different colors for the knobs, such as red, blue, green, or yellow, and each button has telemetry feedback capabilities, which means that it can respond to various inputs such as ABS, traction control, or even something as unexpected as a pizza order. Stop, DRS or flag. This means you can even bind some keys to traction or ABS and see when that ABS or traction activates. Accordingly, you can click on the RPM scale, and here you can also adjust everything, including the brightness. In general, these are standard values. Everything here is intuitively simple, clear, and convenient. I believe I have shown and explained everything to you clearly, and there is no need to delve too deeply into anything here. Everything is user-friendly and intuitively understandable. The SimPro Manager, which is this program that comes with the steering wheel, is what I launch when I play. By the way, there's another update. To check some feedback and make adjustments. My SimPro Manager program is also running, and they do not conflict with each other. Everything is done quite conveniently. There's really nothing more to say about it. So friends, here's my conclusion about this steering wheel. I don't want to drag out the review too much here. I definitely believe that this is still the most outstanding steering wheel you can buy on the market for a reasonable price. Even if you definitely want a premium device for yourself, you can also get it. It is not too expensive. Everything here is convenient, everything is in its place, it looks good, it's stylish, and it's easy to configure, so honestly, I don't even know what drawbacks to mention. I would just like to have 4 metal knobs. Perhaps in a brighter and more vibrant color, but that's just a small detail. And a bit of nitpicking on my part. Overall, out of all the steering wheels I have reviewed and considering its price, this is truly a top-notch device. I doubt that anything better will be released in the next year or two for the same price. What? There will probably be some cool steering wheels like the ones from Moza and Porsche, those super mega expensive fancy ones, but are they functional? Is that functionality really needed? Who knows? Here, everything is available. There are a lot of buttons here, there are a lot of knobs and adjustments, and there is a proper setup for the indication of all these things that light up and can really help you in certain situations. There is no screen here, which you really don't need at all. So for both a beginner sim racer and an experienced sim racer, this device will be top-notch. And I'm sure it will definitely sell incredibly well. I am definitely sure that 80% of sim racers will have exactly this kind of Simagic GT-NEO steering wheel. That's all for me, friends. Thank you for watching. Please like and leave comments about what you think on this matter. See you at the next races. Goodbye.